Satisfied with it. This is a cool lo-fi beat. Let's lo-fi it now. Let's throw some lo-fi effects on it. And yeah, we should be Gucci.
What's going on? We are going to be talking about the Millionaire Savings Plan. We're going to be talking about this thumbnail right here. It reads, I don't know who needs to hear this, but your ability to create the reality that you want is directly determined by your willingness to experience its opposite. Saving money will have you feeling broke while it's actually making you rich. So yeah, this is something that I kind of saw on Twitter, and I was gonna talk about something anyway, and definitely this is definitely something that I was trying to make it a thumbnail, but it didn't fit as far as thumbnail. So, anyways, hope you having a good Friday. If you are, pretty much staying around the house or staying put, and you are doing that as a method to save money, you are pretty much smart, because one of the things about like me, I know for a fact I spent over, at this point, 20 grand in my house. You think I'm going outside if I don't have to? If it ain't, I mean, rule of thumb for me, if it ain't about no money, I'm not really going outside unless I need to get what I need to get. I pretty much already got that on my way home. So I'm in my house. I'm enjoying my investment. Okay. So one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is, first of all, the whole kind of like relationship thing. It definitely is important. The whole not being able to date, and even whatever it is, whether if it's to get laid or find a wife or whatever the case may be, it is a very serious issue, especially if you're a man. It is definitely an issue. Well, this is what I'll say. Okay, first of all, you get rid of this wallpaper. First of all, this is what I notice. Okay, one of the things that I notice is some people are socially awkward. Okay, socially awkward. What do I mean by that? They're just kind of shy. Cheetahs. One thing about cheetahs, the big cat cheetah. Cheetahs are socially awkward animals. They're so shy. They're so reserved and calm and whatnot that when they're in the zoo, they have to get like a animal to basically kind of play with them. Like cheetahs, they get like companion dogs to play with them because they're so shy and reserved that they'll just basically sit still for a long time and just kind of be almost in a state of depression because they just just shy, you know. So they give them service dogs to kind of get them out their shell and have them play a little bit, you know. So yeah, I notice a lot of people that primarily I see a lot of young people, uh, Generation Z, Generation Y, millennials, kind of being socially awkward, and for obvious reasons. Those two generations were the most as far as living in the house and being in the house playing video games, kind of not really playing outside as much, especially the younger millennials. So from that, you do have a certain level of isolation that you're used to, and a tad bit of social awkwardness comes from that. So let me put on my sociology hat, social work hat, and kind of nip this in the bud a little bit. And then I'm going to definitely get into what I'm really going to be talking about. But I just got to get this out of here. I hear people talking about, these nerds are really lames because they just don't know how to socialize. And one of the things about intelligence, it's more than just one type of intelligence. Okay. um this is also something that you should probably need to know. It's nine types of intelligence. Okay. This is actually something that um someone from Northern Illinois University um came up with. you know um this is something that's very, very important. So let me stop this and come back to it and kind of show you. This is actually where I wanted to go to college. Just one of my best friends in high school. He went to NIU. I went down there to like party and stuff like that multiple times. I wish I would have went there, but they kind of had a problem with school shootings and stuff like that. But um, yeah, this is apparently this is one of this professor's theories. I some of the times when I'm researching stuff to kind of like pull from my brain to yours, I end up learning things upon the way. I've said this multiple times. I admit that to a certain degree, very much degree, sometimes I get a tad bit boring. And the reason why I get boring is because basically I'm trying to teach you. I'm putting on my teacher's hat. And yeah, sometimes it can be very, very, very boring. And then I put on my boring voice. Start talking about, I started talking like, um, basically white people, or I start talking white, right? You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I'll have to say that um that's something also that you hear, that guys that are trying to be smart and trying to be ambitious, trying to talk a certain way, speaking Americana English. You pretty much you get stigmatized for trying to be white or talking white. And the thing is that that's something that I had to deal with, and I also had to fight a lot about, because I lived with white people for a long time. Unfortunately, I was kind of bad, and my mother put me in a group home. And after that, pretty much it was the voice was in me, and it was unescapable after that. But certain, every now and again, I can talk many different ways, but this is actually my business corporate voice. I'm laying it all out to you on a corporate basis. And I'm giving it to you so everybody can, slice it up, package it, and get it good. So I can move on and talk about certain other things or whatever. But here's the thing, okay? This guy apparently came up with this the theory of multiple intelligences. Howard Gardner. So you want to, when you go and take this and go repeat it, you actually know the person that started this, and then you can come off like really really intelligent as well, and you actually know the person that actually came up with this. Okay, Howard Gardner. Okay, so according to this theory, there's 9 types of intelligences. Okay, so the first one is verbal linguistic intelligence, well developed verbal skills, and sensitivity to sounds, meanings, and rhythms of words. So, you got people that make music, make beats, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Kuda. That's what you heard as far as the music on this intro. Being able to talk very, very well, being able to make sounds very, very well, rhythmic words, beats, being able to play instruments and stuff like that as well. But that's also actually musical intelligence. But yeah, you being able to talk is very, very key. That's why it's number one. A lot of times people don't know how. I'll just say this. I know people that they have advanced degrees and they have degrees, but they have a hard time getting jobs and getting into their career field because they are lacking in these things. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to communicate. So yeah, this is communication is very, very important. Okay. Logical mathematical intelligence, ability to think conceptually and abstractly, and capacity to discern logical and numerical patterns. These things are a certain level of intelligence, and it's a type of intelligence, mathematical intelligence. Okay. So the thing is that one of the problems that the black community has is we don't we don't value intelligence, because here's the thing. I talked about that in my video about why we don't value our scholars. Well, at one time, basically, you were killed if you knew how to read. Okay, that goes back to the slave days, right? If you knew how to read, if you got caught being smart, you could actually be killed, or you could be castrated. You could be, that your tongue getting taken out or something like that. Slavery was very, very cruel. Okay. Um, State of California just the governor passed a bill for reparations today. So that's like, I think that's the first major city or major state to actually sponsor a reparations bill. Yeah, slavery was definitely an act of war. Actually, if you are a descendant of slaves, you actually, your ancestors are actually prisoners of war. Technically, that will be the term that is very much defined in that case. A prisoner of war. Okay. Um, So yeah, usually after wars, reparations is paid. Okay.
Message.
So the third is spatial visual intelligence, capacity to think in images and pictures, to visualize accurately and abstractly. Okay. Basically being able to see things, being able to see images, patterns. This is very, very good for people that are in UX design, right? UX design, people that are artists, you know, they're very good with this. My both my daughters, they love to draw and stuff like that. Spatial visual intelligence is very, very much a certain level of intelligence. Okay. Body kinesthetic intelligence, ability to control one's body and movements, pretty much being athletic. Okay. That's a certain level of intelligence. In high school, or even post high school, people people used to say, you dumb jock, right? See, here's the thing with that, right? Because even what the nerd doesn't like the bad boy, and he does not like the jock, right? Those are his arch nemesis. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, one thing that the nerd must respect about the jock is that although the nerd might be able to do also mathematical equations and be able to break down things on a scientific level, but can you jump from the free throw line and slam dunk a basketball? Can you actually slam dunk a basketball? Can you spot up from a 3-point stance and shoot a three with a defender in your face? Can you take bounce 3 times and dunk a basketball, or make a layup from the 3-point line? Well, some of those things, I ain't gonna say I dunked from the free throw line, but pretty close to it when I was younger. And I definitely have that type of intelligence. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. All of these intelligences that I'm going to be talking about, to a degree or another, I have them. Therefore, that is one of the reasons why I am, and I call myself, a genius, because I pretty much knew about these 9 levels of intelligences, and not to a degree or another, I actually try to work on all of these. If not, they just come natural to me. I don't have a problem with any of these. Some of these I'm very good at. Some of them I'm probably not that good at. But to a degree or not, I'm good at pretty much a lot of, if not all of these that I'm mentioning. So, yeah, after the, you understand that the athlete is actually intelligent. You can't do certain things. This is why, you have these guys like Stephen A. Smith, and you have Skip Bayless. They're so pissed off with athletes. They expect them to have these so high expectations, and when they don't reach those high expectations, they have so much to say about them. Those are the nerds being upset at the jocks. Okay, being upset at the guys with kinesthetic intelligence. They could never do anything near what those guys are able to do. Nowhere near it. I think Stephen A. Smith averaged like 2 points in high school or something like that, and Skip Bayless averaged like 1 point a game or something like that. Like, I mean, in high school, they did play a little sports, but they like were coming off the bench and they averaged like 1 point a game. They could never, basically do those things that just the worst player in the NBA could do. But they have all kind of criticism towards, stars that, do very relatively well. That's how they got in the NBA, and have slumps and stuff like that. But those guys could nowhere near do any of the athletic skills that those guys are able to do. But they got so much to say about it. So number 5, musical intelligence. Okay, ability to produce and appreciate rhythm, pitch, and timbre. Okay, that is the ability to create high forms of music. Now, like I say, I definitely believe we are in a certain high level of idiocracy. You notice the music is also idiotic. We have a lot of idiotic musicians, and every now and again they'll make a good song and stuff like that. 1 hit, 2 hit wonders, might make 1 hit every year. A lot of that is because they're with a lot of smart guys that know how to make beats and know how to produce entire songs, entire albums and stuff like that, to keep those guys relevant. But those guys by themselves, they can't really do much. And even with what they do, you can tell the music is very, very unintelligent. Okay, it's not high levels of music. Okay, if you wanna see high levels of music, you got to listen to music from the 70s, even 60s, 80s, and 90s. A lot of times, those periods were some of the best music that you will ever hear on the radio. You will never, I repeat, you will never hear the golden era probably until people start changing their ways and start tapping into their higher intellect, that the music you will hear from the 80s and the 70s. I mean, I can literally, I don't care if it's the artist, what type of culture, whatever ethnic group, I can play from start to finish, no matter if they're white, black, whatever their race is. I can play it from start to finish. All of those artists from all of those hit songs from the 80s. It's on my playlist. If you see all of those artists on those playlists, race unimportant, they all hits. They still play them. You go to a bar or whatever, they still playing those same songs. Those songs are legendary songs, classical even songs that you do not hear to this day, because they one of the reasons I believe is that they unfunded a lot of musical classes. They used to have music classes being mandatory. When I was younger, when I was in school, you had to have like a little clarinet. You had to pay, like, you either had it for free or you had to pay like maybe like $10 or something like that. And you had to get a clarinet. And you had to know how, you have to know the basically the just basic music form, which is do re mi fa sol la tu do re. Like, you had to know that shit, and then you had to know how to basically play the flute, like the little, it was a flute. You had to know how to, like, kind of play with it with the different music keys and stuff like that. So we actually had to do that, man. And a lot of classes, they changed things around and they unfunded it. And also even art class, so it's like basically those are forms of intelligence that are lacking in society now, because they unfunded those classes. So moving along, interpersonal intelligence, capacity to detect and respond appropriately to the moods, motivations, and desires of others. This is a lot of the problem of, basically what guys that can get chicks don't really have a problem getting chicks. This is what they know and they work on. That is the weakness of the guys that are socially awkward, have a problem getting women. They have this problem. I'll read it again. Capacity to detect and respond appropriately to the moods, motivations, and desires of others. Basically, in short, knowing how to read a room full of people. This is actually what I was talking about before I went to this article here. Okay, so it basically is social skills. Having social skills, having emotional skills to read people's emotions. You don't walk in a room and then you see someone's face going to the floor. Their eyeballs look like they got spots on them because they're tired. And you just start blabbering off all of your problems. And you're not reading the room, find out that this person, is tired, obviously. So maybe you want to, if you don't have to say something, don't say nothing, or even just say, "Are you all right?" Person probably 9 times out of 10 gonna say, "Damn, the cat kept me up last night," or the dog, or my husband, or whatever, or I had a late night. Not just come up in there and just blabbering out all of what you did and what you didn't do. Or even just knowing how to read the room, period. This is a big thing because basically you have to know how to talk to people depending on what's going on with them, read them. That is very, very much a skill within itself. This is called naturalist intelligence, ability to recognize, categorize plants, animals, and other objects in nature. That's why my dad used to sit down and watch National Geographic and Discovery Channel. Because if you study nature, you understand more about people, you understand more about the environment than basically the average person. So you have an advantage. Animals and humans are not that much different. Other animals, we are also animals. Okay, being able to be a naturalist as far as understanding the natural world around you is key. Okay, understanding what plants to eat if you're out in the forest and you need to survive, knowing what's poison ivy. See, I learned this shit when I was in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, knowing what to, how to make a fire, knowing how to cut down a tree and all of that type of stuff. It's very much a level of intelligence. This is called existential intelligence, sensitivity and capacity to tackle deep questions about human existence, such as what is the meaning of life? Why do we die? How did we get here? So this is like basically sociology, um, philosophy, theology. These things kind of break down those questions. Okay, those are the 9 levels of intelligence. Now, I'm going to go back to the previous slide, article, which is emotional and social intelligence. I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. So, not going to read all of this, but basically, this is what is emotional and social intelligence. Says emotional and social intelligence has become a key talking point over the course of the last few years. However, the concept is not a new one. In fact, the groundwork for the modern theory was laid more than 30 years ago and properly defined by various notable figures within psychology over 2 decades ago. In this article, we will discuss the various theories behind ESI, as well as its impact on managerial procedures and building relationships. The initial concept of ESI was posited by John D. Mayer, Peter Salovey, David Caruso, and subsequently developed and interpreted in alternative ways by Daniel Goldman and some other names or whatever. But this also further reads the Mayer et al. Model of emotional and social intelligence, ESI, as a theoretical concept was generally the product of personal psychologist John D. Mayer in association with social psychologist Peter Salovey during the 1990s. These researchers coined the notion ESI and the work laid the foundations of subsequent conceptual perceptions. So, emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive emotions, to access and generate emotions so as to assist thought, to understand emotions and emotional knowledge, and to reflectively regulate emotions so as to promote emotional and intellectual growth. So there's 4 branches of basically emotional and social intelligence. Perception, perceiving emotions in yourself, others, and your environment. Facilitation, using emotion to interpret the world and changes in different ways. Understanding, conceptual knowledge of emotions, how they change and their impacts. Management and regulation, the ability to steer your emotions and those of your peers. So let me break this down to you. Basically, what they're saying to you in this article is that you should understand people's emotions. Okay, primarily what I'm talking about is women's emotions. And you should be able to basically interpret why they're having these emotions. What's going on is, basically why this is, their emotions is changing and how that's impacting others, understanding that and be able to steer their emotions. See, these are the things you kind of learn when you're trying to be a psychologist, because you actually have to steer people's emotions. Even as a manager, you have to be able to, if your employees are disgruntled, you have to try to get them kind of back in line and steer why they are, having issues and problems and stuff like that. This is even deeper than relationships. But I'm gonna close this out because this is really, really deep. But yeah, this kind of leads into what this is right here. Okay. This is kind of how some women see you, because, like, for example, this is something that I wrote. Created. This is like this is like a Zen paradigm. It crosses all layers and it's all connected. So you have on the left the simp, and then in the middle of that, on top, is the square, and then on the right is a pimp. So here's the thing with this. you can learn from everybody, right? That's what we just talked about with being a naturalist, learning from the environment, learning from all of the people, all of the animals, all the trees, the rocks, everything, just learning about different people, right? One of the things that a lot of times people dismiss is probably the most dismissive is the pimp on the right. The reason why is it's a lot of negative connotations with pimps, but in a social construct of society, unfortunately, there always are going to be pimps. The reason why is it's just people are not perfect. People have is a certain weakness in society. Okay. In that society comes it's a financial society. We all have, even before there was money, there was also there was, the oldest profession is what? Prostitute. One of the oldest professions, right? And there's always been an association with being a poor woman and needing some type of help in society. And then basically men found a way to take advantage of that and make some type of substance or abstraction from that and extract value from basically women that look good, or the fact that they, basically any type of female essence that they have, to extract from that, you know, good or bad. The thing is that the reason why there will always be pimps and prostitutes is because there always be women that need money, fall on hard times, and have to use their carnal essence to make money, meaning their body, their female essence or whatever, to attract men, to make money off of it. And it's really kind of interesting because now women, with the advent of technology, they really don't need pimps anymore. In the essence of, if women are technically savvy, know how to use a cell phone and or a computer, they basically can, sell images, videos of themselves, on OnlyFans and stuff like that, right? And also even go things beyond that if they want it. The only problem is, one thing about pimps, they come and protect the woman in case they have a problem with men taking advantage of them physically. So, the pimp pretty much was always around because there always been women that's been weak, vulnerable, and needing resources, capital, and the pimp would be able to help them facilitate their body to other men that had problems getting women on their own, usually, right? And that's the square and the simp, right? Because the pimps usually they're not trying to, they don't have a problem necessarily getting women. They're actually looking to make money off of women, not necessarily get women per se. So it's like, basically, this song and dance has been going on for a long time. The simp in the square will, having problems getting women. They used to go to a pimp to get women. Okay. Or they would see women and then they would just basically try to get with them, not knowing, not even seeing that there's a pimp involved, but they'll get wise enough to know, yeah, I mean, they do, women a long time ago, before the internet. I mean, of course, they were just on the street and in brothels, selling their body. So, yes, a pimp was involved in that some scenario, either usually in the cut or in the shadows. But if something happened, the pimp would be the one that would rough up the other guy or the John, trying to give the prostitute a hard time. Well, a lot of nowadays women are they don't necessarily, if they want to do that, they don't need uh, a pimp anymore. They don't actually need a pimp. So what's happening is men are also financially desperate because the pimp is also financially desperate. He needs money from System D, which is basically cash. No no taxes, just straight cash. So the pimp is also out of desperation needing money. So both the pimp and the prostitute are someone that are in bad need of money, uh is trying to make money outside the construct of a regular you know business, as far as just either regular business or just typically in the financial world. So yeah, it's like basically a lot of times what I'm seeing now is because men also are financially desperate, they are kidnapping women. That you see all of these stories where women are getting kidnapped and then they're being forced into some type of prostitution or even worse, right? So yeah, it's very much a lot of negative connotations when it comes to pimps. So a lot of times, uh, even people on the internet, when they hear a pimp or somebody that says that they're a pimp, they run to the hills. They're not trying to hear what no pimp or ex pimp or whatever is trying to say. You know, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I don't necessarily try to listen to pimps myself. Like, I mean, because see, here's the thing when it comes down to it, right? A lot of times it is tripped out, but people forget that usually what's the concept of a pimp, right? People's concept of a pimp is some black dude, right? Like Bishop Don Magic Wand, right? You know, he's the guy that on the west side of Chicago with the shiny jewelry and stuff like that, gold medallions. It's a lot of pimps that came from Chicago, right? Well, the thing is that what if I told you that's not even the biggest pimp that is well known? The biggest pimp that's well known is this guy here. This is one of the biggest pimps that I probably in the last 50 or something so odd years that I ever heard of. But you people, because there's so much negative propaganda, uh in as far as towards black men and black people in general, that you don't hear that other people are actually pimps as well, and even bigger pimps. So this guy here, you wouldn't hear the word pimp mentioned with this guy here, Jeffrey Epstein. Emphasis on the uh, Epstein Island. This guy is one of the biggest pimps that I probably ever heard of. He was a multi-billionaire. He took his billions and he knew a lot of his friends and colleagues and stuff like that. He had a private island, right? and basically he had a bunch of young women to basically go on this island and sell sexual favors to other rich men of all across the walks of life. I mean, you talking about your commanders and even chief commanders. They were coming to this island and having a sexual and living their sexual fantasies, and then going back to their $1 billion companies, having a good time, and having all kind of stories to tell or keep private. This is definitely way bigger than any other pimp that I've ever heard of in Chicago, anywhere in the United States. This is high level pimping. Okay, so I just want to, let you know, basically, what nobody will tell you. So the thing is that one of the things that you can look at as from the pimp is that pimps know how to extract, because we live in a value system. Okay, we live in a value system. Even if you look at it not from a monetarily perspective, but a perspective of, am I valued, or am I undervalued, or am I not valued at all? So a simp is definitely not valued at all, hardly at all. He just, some chicks will have a simp in the number of her phone as Denny's. The other dude, Red Lobster. Other simp, Cheesecake Factory. They'll just call them Cheesecake, Red Lobster, and Denny's. The Denny's simp, he don't really have a lot of money, but he's good for at least Denny's. That's pretty much what that is. Now the square knows about the game of what the pimps do and what the problem of a simp. I am a square. Okay, I play chess one square at a time. I am definitely a square. Okay, definitely a square, right? And what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of you are more of a simp because you don't acknowledge, the good and the bad of what pimps do or what pimps are capable of. You don't understand, that dynamic as well. You'll probably never hear the book Iceberg Slim. Okay, you won't read it because you have 100% negative connotation of a pimp. Okay, now let me also educate you on who another pimp that you probably didn't know was actually a pimp, reform pimp that you didn't know. I'm we going this is kind of unconventional, but I'm definitely going to get back to the money. If you really know, I've never left the money. This also, he was in the 70s. He was an actual pimp. He went a lot of what pimps did was they had to sharpen and straighten up. They had to square up. Al Sharpton is a pimp that squared up.
Message.
Okay, another pimp, bona fide, hands down pimp. Okay, your grandma probably didn't tell you that. As she went to the polls to vote Democrat.
Message.
So yeah, Al Sharpton is a pimp that reversed it and went back to being a square. It's not marketable to be a pimp. Even on YouTube, it's not marketable to be a pimp. It's no pimps are the scum of the earth to most people. Unfortunately, that is what it is. What it is. It's not marketable to be a pimp. Okay, especially because, like I said, because a lot of women do not need pimps. Pimps, they still need to make money off of sex. So what they did was a lot of men went underground with it. They start snatching women off the street, literally. Like right now, women are trying to get, home and stuff like that. It's, I gotta show video because me talking a lot of times does not do justice. So I got to give you actual evidence, because you might not believe me. And then also, there's also, people that watch me from other parts of the country. They, probably have not seen this stuff or whatever. So, definitely let me roll some footage. Find some footage so you can see what I'm talking about. Actually, I ain't gonna even try that hard. I know it's plenty of situations to find on YouTube. It's tripped out how I'll just say this. It's tripped out how they call it kidnapping. Even if you're an adult, they still call it kidnapping because they do take kids too. They do take children as well. Kidnapping is it's definitely alive and well. But I don't really think this guy is necessarily trying to. This is not a good case. I'm not going to play this because this is not a good case. This guy actually was trying to. The one I was about to play, this guy was actually. He was trying to actually commit rape. The video that I'm going to show, I was looking for this. It was a guy in the car driving, and then another guy got out. So that was actually an abduction attempt. So it wasn't necessarily an abduction attempt. And then some of these is tripped out because some stuff you'll believe, like you'll think everything is on YouTube, but actually it isn't. It's not like what's on different sites is not on every site. So let me see here. Because this woman, she was like jogging, and then somebody just was trying to kidnap her while she was jogging. She was by herself, which is crazy. I don't know why women jog by themselves. I really don't understand that. Like, I mean, I do understand it, but it's like it's weird. It's weird to me because all of these stories about people kidnapping women, but yet it's still women that continue to just basically this is it right here. Still just jog by themselves. And I understand, like, people just, they want to live their life. No, I know women don't really, it's like some women be like, I guess they be like, Well, it don't matter. It don't matter that I still want to get my jog in no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm a woman, I still should be able to jog. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like this. Like, you know, I don't really like jogging in the all white neighborhood. And it's because not so much, that I want, even if I want to jog, like it's just like, man, I mean, somebody probably gonna call the police on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have no problems like that. So I don't really do it. Go jogging somewhere else or just go on a treadmill. So this is this happened a few months back. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so many men that are financially desperate as well. They make money off of kidnapping women, put them in secret brothels. Worse, they still selling body parts. I hate to say it, but they sell body parts. I mean, a kidney I think is worth like 50 grand just alone. So then you got liver. I mean, it's disgusting, man. This world is very dark. When I say that, all of the violence when it comes to being a single woman and not being with a man, it's really, really, like, I'm not really joking. Like, I'm not just talking just to be talking. Like, it's a risk. So here is this guy right here. So he pretending like he jogging. And then he's snatching her up. The dude in the car. It's like it's two other people in the car. He opening the door so he can get her in there. He gave up and just went back to the car. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's it. Like I say, I gotta show footage because you ain't gonna believe me. But it's desperation, it's desperation. They it's women they don't really need pimps anymore like that. I mean, it's some that they still need pimps because you got women that they don't have it all the way upstairs. They don't know um how to do stuff on their own. And then it's men that they know how to use their sexual power. Cause see, here's the thing. The reason what I'm saying is, as far as like you could learn from a pimp or whatever, is that you take the bad that a pimp does and you apply it to good. It sounds crazy, but here's what I'm talking about. So pimps basically are kind of like male prostitutes, but different in a sense where, okay, a male prostitute just basically selling sex. He's selling his sexual prowess. Well, pimp, he also in a way is kind of selling his sexual prowess, because what a lot of times what pimps do, they harness their sexual power and they control their whores with their sexual power. That's what they do to control their hoes in their harem or whatever, their harem of prostitutes. They harness high powers of sexual, like, power domination, and they basically it's like they give their whole horrors a fix of medicine. And a lot of times prostitutes that do that, like I'm talking about street prostitutes, a lot of times they are hooked on drugs as well, various different drugs. One of their drugs is penis, basically. They are addicted to sex because not a lot of people talk about this. They talk about, single moms and all this other stuff. Well, you got women that are also sexual addicts as well. It's not just men that are necessarily sexual addicts. You have women that are also sexual addicts. You know, there women actually are very, very vulnerable for sexual addiction because, basically what a lot of times what happens is men, they can control the fact that, okay, they need sex, right? But they don't necessarily have to have any effects of actually going out and getting sex other than STDs. But when it comes to women, they also have a problem and risk of getting STDs, but also getting pregnant. So the man can kind of basically stick and move, and he doesn't necessarily have minimal risk as far as he doesn't necessarily have. He's not getting pregnant, right? He's basically can kind of stick and move. But women, they can get pregnant, right? And that's where you get the abortions and the children that they can't pair bond with because basically they don't even know the man, and they got all of these different sexual deposits, semen deposits inside their body, and then you start to go into what is called sexual transmutation, where they cannot pair bond with their children, with their babies, because they just basically, it's kind of like an animal that's in the wild. They have a problem pair bonding with their child, so they abandon the child. That goes on in humans too. So the mother has the child, and she's like kind of pissed off because she like, you just some object that takes me away from my trip to Miami and Cancun and Las Vegas, that I used to take with the girls. Now I gotta find somebody to, if my grandmother or my mother don't take you in, so I can go out and kick it and have a good time and live life like pretend like I'm single, I'm pissed off. So let me drink and smoke in the house, and just be pissed off and be a derelict mother. And then if I do know the baby daddy, let me vilify him for fun. Why I just, basically be a toxic mother. So I mean, a lot of that's where that comes from, because a lot of times women get addicted to sex. They're chasing their next high. They're chasing their next climax. So what, and this is what, I already knew this, but the late great Alan Roger Curry, he broke this down very eloquently on one of his live streams. He broke down why women kind of turn into sluts, or be highly promiscuous, where they going from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy, and having all kinds of different wild sexual escapades. Well, it starts off where it's kind of like kind of like a good girl gone bad type of thing. High school or even in junior high, they get with the guy, and then they have some puppy love sexual escapades, and then they get an older guy in high school, and the older guy gives them the best sex that they ever had in their life, and then after that, they break up because they pretty much hard-headed. They don't like to be told what to do, don't like to listen to men, right? So they break up for whatever reason, and then they just going to the next guy. They like, well, this older guy that was 24 when I was 16, he was very, very good. So let me find somebody else that's just as good as him, or even better. So they go from the next guy to the next guy, and it's like they're chasing a high, like a crackhead. And they looking for that next super nut, that next climax. And I mean that's how women kind of get wild out like that, right? So where it comes down to where men are not intelligent, even if they are nerds, even if they are, considered pocket protectors or whatever, right? They don't understand all of these dichotomies. They don't understand that even you got women that are squares. You need to actually get with a square type of woman. You shouldn't be looking at a woman that might be street or anywhere near the street, whatever the case may be. You need to get with your counterpart. You need to even learn to even like your counterpart. But here's the thing. You also need to understand what a chameleon is, because you'll have chicks that they wear the glasses, they look and talk and act like nerds, but they have a secret OnlyFans account. And they also are secret, nut chasers. So I mean, the thing about it is, I talk a lot about this on my Patreon. Okay. I go more into this on my Patreon, and I just started a Rumble. So what I'll probably end up doing is going more on Rumble, so I can say things and I don't have to worry about stuff. And then I also get advertisement, because I mean, YouTube is still trying to update what they kind of got too big for themselves. And a lot of times when people get too big, they forget about the small guys, so, or the small guys that are actually big guys or whatever. But the thing is that I say all of that to say that it's a lot to learn. It's a lot that I don't say, because primarily I try to keep things in a certain perspective as far as my channel. And then also it's not a lot of things that I can really say. It's certain levels that I can only kind of go. So the thing is that what I will say is that when it comes down to it, whatever you are, I think as far as if you really care, you should get someone as close to you are, your counterpart. Some of the best relationships that I see is that the two couples are almost like, kind of like superheroes, Batman and Batwomen, it's like that, like Supergirl, Superwoman, and Superman. You need to find your Superwoman, or your Batwoman. If she's not, kind of like a female version of you, then she probably ain't the right woman for you. And that sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, that's probably a woman like that is very, very rare. But I think that would be like the ideal kind of like situation, in my opinion. That's what I've noticed as far as that. So the thing is that let's go back to this. Okay, and we'll talk about this for a little while. A lot of times what I find out when it comes to the Millionaire Savings Plan is that a lot of people are trying to run away from the feeling of being broke, or the actuality of even being broke, because for whatever reason, you want to keep the lie going. What I mean by keeping the lie going is you want to keep using those credit cards. You want to keep living in that overpriced house, driving in that overpriced car. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're money hungry because you need so much money to keep that lifestyle going. And it becomes an interesting situation because you don't have control over your financial life. That's what that means. So when it comes down to it, when you don't have control over your life, someone else does. That's how that goes. So from the perspective of, basically the five types of people in the financial world, most people are in the trenches. Most people are in the trenches. Trench fighters, working for survival, living either living check to check or might have a little money, but if you lost your job, everything goes to kaputs. And then you follow and listen and zero in on other trench fighters. You do what other trench fighters do, and you stay in the trenches.
Message.
Yeah, it's like basically I want to nicen it up, but unfortunately, I can't nice it up. I gotta tell you the real, because if I told you anything different, it would be sacrilege. If I told you anything different, it'll be sacrilege. So this is what I'm going to be doing, working on this year, okay? This is what I'm going to be working on for those that are interested. One, I'm going to be working on actions, okay? I'm going to be focused more on actions. So one of the things that I did, and I'm going to show you how I did it, okay? I'll show you how I did it. One of the things that I did, it's one of the things that I did. Made a program this year, right? I made a program. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that this was going to be I wasn't gonna post this actually. I wasn't gonna post it because primarily the reason why I wasn't gonna post it is because I still have to do a full video of what all this could do. So this is the first thing that it does is saves your all your files automatically. This is what this program does. It saves it first starts saving all your programs automatically. So you gotta put either flash drive or an external hard drive in a computer that you want to save all of the files. You put that in your computer before you start the program. It has to be under the letter D because the program works only under letter D. So if your hard drive, external hard drive, or USB flash drive is not under the letter D, you have to make it show up by default as the letter D. Now, because your hard drive, most people's hard drives is usually C by default. So when you put a flash drive or external hard drive in your computer, it'll default back to letter D as far as a secondary disk that is second to the C drive. So that's what it does. It automatically starts saving backing up all of your files, all of your documents, downloads, pictures, videos on your external drive. And what it also does after that, let me go to my website and show you what also it does. I still got to do a video explaining this. It's available. It's available for purchase too, as well. It's on my website here, and it's ASCSTS.com. This is where you could purchase it at. It's also on my Gumroad listings. It's in my Gumroad listings. On the description of most of my videos is my Gumroad. So I'm gonna also talk to you about that because we're gonna be doing actions this year. We're going to be making moves. Okay, talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit, but we're gonna do some action. We're going to change lives, not just through. Okay, definitely my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, is definitely should purchase that. But I'm gonna show you some other tools that I'm gonna be working on. You know, that's why I had to get out all of the social stuff as far as the getting women, social cues and stuff like that. All of those you can work on over time. You can sharpen those skills. But I am going to be doing actions. Okay. So this here, like I said, it's on my website. It's $9. Okay. It's a PC tune-up software. This is exactly going to be utilized for what I also have planned real soon for you guys and girls. Is that basically I'm going to be showing you how to get into IT. Okay. Primarily from an IT support perspective. So a lot of things, yeah, it's, I did go to college for programming. I do know how to code a little bit, right? So this is a program that I use though in the field. I don't work primarily in the field now. I just work for corporate America. I normally used to work with residential customers. And basically, I used to go to people's houses. Their computer was running slow. I would make it faster. Um, I also can do this remotely for $50. Like if someone's grandma or mother has a computer that is slow, I could basically speed it up. It's like $50. I could basically do that remotely because everybody is not computer savvy. Okay, everybody is not computer savvy, and they don't really know how to navigate their way about a computer. So this software won't be basically good enough to be able to be used by them because they don't know how to really use it. So they'll need some more help, right? So the thing is that with this software and basically going out and kind of starting your own IT business where you basically kind of going door to door or doing some cold calling in your local area to everybody has a computer that's slow. A lot of people have computers that run slow. When I had my computer shop, back in 2011, 2010, I used to make a lot of money basically doing PC tune-ups. I used to make a lot of money doing those things, doing PC tune-ups. Because most people have a computer that is either laying around somewhere or basically they're using right now that is running slow. And they basically just need some tune up. Computers need tuning up just like cars. And this software it kind of helps facilitate that. It doesn't it actually does. Actually, everything on this software is what I used to utilize in the field. Okay. So it speeds your computer up. It deletes cookie files on different web browsers. It's portable. You could basically utilize this on a flash drive. You don't even have to utilize it on a flash drive. You basically can upload it to your OneDrive, or if you use a Google Drive, and then basically as soon as you go to people's houses, you could just pull it down from the cloud. Now I don't recommend you do that because see, here's the thing. Most people, if they gonna call you, people don't call you for nothing. They call you because their computer is actually running slow. So when it's actually running slow, you're not going to be able to, in a fast-paced time, download the software on their computer or even go on a browser because they're calling you because their computer is very, very, very slow. Now, sometimes they also might need more memory to make their computer faster. But usually a lot of times what people do is they get tired of how slow their computer is. They just end up throwing it out or getting rid of it, or just putting it throwing it in the basement or the garage. Well, what you could do is buying this software once you actually, kind of learn the skills I'm going to be talking about later. As far as like, I'm going to be creating a course so you can basically get out of, like, I remember years ago, it was a guy that was in my chat that he was working in a grocery store. I don't know if he's still where he's at or what he's doing, but this course will take you out of working at the grocery store, working at the factory, working at the chicken shack, working wherever you working, basically making close to minimum wage or slightly more than that. Well, I can get you into the IT field, and you can go, pretty much up from there. So I'm going to be creating a course, and once you actually finish that course, you're going to get skills. You're going to get an insight as far as how you can navigate getting into IT support. You're going to learn certain skill sets. You're going to be able to contact me if you have any questions. And then also, I'm going to tell you where to go to get hired, how to get hired. Definitely go over your resume, kind of get you in the game. Because a lot of times what it is that people don't know how to get in the game. They take courses and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily know how to basically start. You have to be able to actually start and get in wherever you live, or go to your nearest city, where they have jobs, and basically get your foot in the door. Well, I'm going to show you how to get your foot in the door, and kind of mentor you to get into the IT support field. I'm going to tell you all about it. I still got to finish up the course, but what you can do is, basically what I'll do is, like, if you buy the course, if you haven't already bought this software, I'll probably just give it to you for free, give you a free download, because you're going to definitely want to utilize this once you get into the field, if you embark on that journey, because you're going to need this in the field, because you're going to have a lot of computers that people have that's going to be slow, and you can utilize this in more of the residential environment, in some commercial environments. And you can basically use this as a tool to speed up their computer really fast, back up their files. And then you can, I charge $50. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're in a particular area and you have people that have money, you can very much charge more than $50. You can charge $100, you can charge $150. Whatever you think that you can charge for your service, for tuning up their computer. You could also add extra services to that. RAM. If there's really really bad, you can reinstall their Windows operating system. I used to charge. I still to this day, I charge like 150, I think 170 to reinstall Windows. So what you would do is you'll utilize this to back up their files and reinstall Windows. And you can charge more than I do as well. Like, you can charge, like, you go to Geek Squad and you just go see how much they charge for their services, and you'll get a roadmap of what kind of like what they charge, and they charge quite a bit versus kind of what you could actually charge. And once you're out in the field, and if you already into IT support, here's the thing: if you work in corporate America, it's a certain ceiling when it comes to IT support. I get ragged on by the software guys a lot, but see, here's the thing about IT support: the software guys, okay, the Indians can do their job all the way in India. Remote people can do their job. One thing about IT support is that nobody can remotely do IT support. If a hard drive needs to be replaced, can't nobody go inside the computer remotely and do that. It needs to be somebody on the ground manually repairing the laptop, putting a new hard drive in, put new RAM in. It's basically 100% job security. You don't have to worry about somebody remotely taking your job or nothing like that. It's even the whole chat GPT. They ain't nobody taking your job because it has to be done manually. Most of the IT support has to be done manually. So this is something that, like I said, this is for sale right now. It's a downloadable software. It's called PC TuneUp software version 1.2. So yeah, I mean, this is something that I have for sale right now. If you know anybody, or if you yourself have a computer that's really really slow, and you want to try to kind of fix it and kind of speed it up. So this is what I'm talking about as far as action. Okay, I'm going to be doing actions. I'm not just going to be just talking about women all day, or societal. I've already talked about the problem of why relationships are a problem in America and in the black community and stuff like that. Um, Unfortunately, we have to move on, with life. I mean, so here's the thing. So, like I said, this software is definitely available, and like I said, keep in mind, look out for it. You are kind of trying to get in the IT field. You tired of bagging groceries. You tired of being a laborer down at the warehouse. I'm gonna be crafting this program, this uh, course, and it's gonna be on Gumroad. It's gonna be like a PDF, so it's 100% readable, and it's gonna have tons of information on it, and then it's gonna also have my details, my contact details, so you can take this and make more money. So if you're making like $12 an hour, even $15 an hour, you can make more than that. The salary range. I'll show you the salary range for IT support, so you can get a kind of adjust of what that is. It kind of varies depending on area, the areas where you are. And then here's the thing. This is not just basically IT support. One of the things about jobs and stuff like that and different job titles, they play with words. So what if I told you a IT analyst is very, very much very similar to a IT support specialist? So all I do right here, right, is I change this to, or even I just put help desk specialist, help desk support specialist, right? That's the same thing, right? And it's even easier because it's just people calling you over the phone. So I mean, or basically while you on a computer, it's the same thing. What if I told you IT analyst? I put IT analyst, and this is the stuff that people don't know about. I didn't spell it right. Analyst. Let's see, analyst. Let me Google this here. There we go. I had too many A's. Oh yeah, here's the. I'm not trying to join this right now. So this is an IT analyst. So it's very much similar. You might need to know more skill sets for this job, this role, but this is also a IT support role, but it's more in depth to it. Okay. So yeah, it'll be certain moves like this you could take outside of, like, once you get into IT support and you start to know what to do, you can move towards this. You know what I'm saying? This is actually something that my coworker kind of put me up on game recently about. It's a guy that I work with. I know more than him, and he's an IT analyst. Like, I mean, they play with words with certain jobs. Like, you will think that you're underqualified for certain positions, but you actually qualify for them. So this is like a kind of a move upwards from IT support, and you see the salary range right here. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm looking for about 100 people that is tired of working at McDonald's, working at Burger King, working at Starbucks, working at the car wash, and they want to get into IT. I want to get at least 100 people into IT. You know, so basically, I want you to, basically look out for this. Look out for this course. I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be talking more about it, kind of like I did before I wrote my book, before I uploaded it on Amazon. I was talking a lot about it. You know, this is what I'm going to be talking about now. Getting 100 people to get into IT that is not, basically software. You don't have to know how to basically code. You don't have to know how to do any coding. This is more hands-on hardware, software skills, as far as like knowing how to support, let's just say someone, they don't know how to get on a network. They're having problems with their network, the network connection dropping. Knowing how to troubleshoot that type of problem, knowing how to troubleshoot someone that's having problems with Office, knowing how to troubleshoot someone's having problems with, particular hardware problems, knowing how to figure out what's going on with it and resolve it quickly. And, basically, I'll formulate some type of test to where it'll be a link after you complete the course, and you could basically take some type of test and get some type of certificate to basically show that you can, deal with IT support, as far as how to navigate that type of world as far as IT support. So I have like 15 years of experience in IT support. So I'm going to give you all of my knowledge, because not all of it, but I'm going to give you as much as I can. I am not looking for any more IT support roles. I am pretty much done with it. I'm moving up. I'm not looking back. And I'm trying to give you a bridge so you can get out of being working security, working as a bouncer, being a oaf or a grunt, making $10 to $15 an hour, like I say, or even $18 an hour, or even $20 an hour, and just kind of moving up in the world, knowing some tangible skills, actually being an IT guy, IT gal, and actually getting into whether it be private sector, public sector, because you also have public sectors where you can work for the Department of, basically the government, local, whether it be city, state, or Fed. You can work for the federal government, have a lot of benefits. Compensation is usually higher than even working in the private sector. So all of that world I'm going to open up to you in this course, going to help you with trying to get your first job in IT, answering any questions. Like I say, the course is not going to be necessarily expensive. It's going to be about $100, but that $100 is going to get you kind of like an idea of what is going to be involved in IT support. You're going to get some actual places where you can start working immediately, and you're going to get my contact details as well. So if you got any questions, and you show proof that you actually bought the course, of course, you can kind of get some ideas on where you can start working, any questions that you have, what you might need to work on, and we're gonna get you into IT. I'm looking for this year and get about 100 people into IT. The more the merry. So, like I said, you can kind of leave those jobs to somebody else that you're working, and kind of move up. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, moving toward basically not even so much talking about millionaire savings plans, for example. Still talking about millionaire savings plan. Definitely get the book. Definitely get that book for sure, because you definitely gonna need it, because when you make money, you want to try to use that money so you can move up to the millionaire savings plan. So the thing is that one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because you need money so you can save money. I'm talking about this and that and saving money and all. Well, how about you? Not everybody it makes over $40,000 a year. Some people don't even make over $25,000 a year. Like I say, it's still young people, still people that they're still working in factories. They're still, forced to wash dishes, because they kind of trying to survive. Well, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to make some more money so you can save some more money and invest it and make some more money. And, I can make at least out of that 100. Hopefully I can make one to 10 people millionaires, because it's a lot easier to make this right here and get close to being a millionaire than making, basically slightly above poverty and trying to save to be a millionaire. So I'm going to use what I know, the maximum value as far as what I know, to teach you how to get into IT so you can make some money, get out of that damn McDonald's hamburger line, and actually learn how to fix the computers that are inside McDonald's and make some more money. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that this year. I'm gonna be completing this course for you to purchase. Once you purchase that course, it's gonna be the best course you ever bought in your entire life, and you're gonna be probably thanking me for the rest of your life, because you're gonna get outside of that McDonald's restaurant, flipping burgers and Burger King, and working for Habibi at the corner convenience store, and you're gonna actually know how to fix computers. You're gonna learn more stuff, because once you get out in that field, you are actually going to learn more things, because you're going to be out in that field, and you're going to be actually doing the work, and you're going to be learning what's out there. So this is what we're going to be doing. And then also, what else? The other thing that I'm going to be doing as far as actions is on my brokegeniuses.com page. I'm going to be doing basically credit repair. That's the new thing that I'm going to be getting into. I am going to be getting into credit repair. And what I'm going to do with credit repair is I'm going to it's not going to be that much, but what I'm going to do with that is we're going to get you some type of budget plan with that, because some people just don't know how to create budgets. They just don't know how to do it. So it's like, I'm talking and I'm beating a dead horse. So I'm like, okay, well, let me get outside of talking and let me actually get more into doing. Because some people need help. Some people can take what I say and, go make $1 million. But some people just get stuck. So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be, taking what I know and actually utilizing it to help you. I'm going to take what I know and then basically help you help yourself and help me in the process. So I'm going to be basically pulling all 3 of your credit bureau reports. And then we're going to come up with some type of debt collection strategy to basically get you on some type of debt snowball plan. We're going to look at, your overall spending. We're going to look at your entire financial picture as well as your social problems that you're having in life. We're going to look at your entire financial picture as well as your, what problems you're having in your life. And we're going to try to get you all of the help that you need so you can rebuild your credit, so you can get the house that you need to get, get the credit you need, get your financial health back in order, so you can actually just kind of live life better. Because a lot of times when you don't have the credit to do stuff, I'm still rebuilding my credit as well. You just can't get stuff. Like, I helped my mother qualify for her house, rebuild her credit. When I had my computer shop, actually people used to come in and they needed help as well, because they kind of knew I knew how to do that. So they would just come in to get some help. So that's what I'm going to be offering on my website. Going to be offering credit repair, but it ain't going to just be credit repair. I'm a value add type of person. So you're going to get more than just credit repair. You're going to get, like I said, you're going to get some type of budget, Excel sheet. I'm going to utilize all the tools that I already have kind of in a way and add more things. So you're going to get some type of budget. I'm going to get my Excel budget sheet. You're going to get, with all of the debts that you have, some type of snowball plan. And you're going to get, with that budget plan, you're going to get an idea of, like I said, every 2 weeks to a month out, what you're going to be spending your money on every time you get paid. You're going to be every paycheck, you're going to be planning what you're going to be spending your money on. You're going to keep track of all of your utility bills, whatever rent payments or mortgage payments or car payments you have. You're going to keep track of all of those things. You're going to get some type of balanced budget. If your budget is not balanced, we're going to have to work on those things. It might be, some people might have more of a mess than others. So we're going to try to figure out what we got to do. If it's a situation, let's just say it's a situation, things are so bad, I feel so bad for you. Guess what? I'm going to give you your damn money back. And I'm going to tell you to call the nearest bankruptcy attorney that you can get so you can file bankruptcy, because it's just not reasonable to get you out of debt, because you are you're just too far gone. So basically that's the worst that it can happen from that. You get your money back, and then I'll be like, you know what, you most likely gonna have to file bankruptcy, sir or ma'am. So that's what I'm gonna be getting into as far as I'm concerned. It's gonna be more than credit repair. Like I said, it's gonna get you a budget. It's gonna get your credit reports pulled. Going to get some type of action plan, debt, payment debt snowball payment arrangements, so you can get an idea how many years it's going to probably take for you to pay off your debts and pay them down. And it's going to be a process, and I'm going to work with you to get that process completed. I would say if it's a situation where it's going to take you more than 5 years to get out of debt or get things in order, you're probably going to need to probably file bankruptcy, because if it's like 5 to going to 10 years, that's how long it's going to take. Is going more close to 10 than 5, then I hate to tell you, you are a candidate for bankruptcy. That's what the bankruptcy laws are on the books for. Some people don't like to use bankruptcy because it just sounds so bad, and it's just, people think it's embarrassing and stuff like that. But no, that's what that's what the kind of advantage is as far as why they have those laws. So basically, companies, they file that as a loss on their books, that you file bankruptcy, and they get a tax credit from that loss. If you already have debts that you have not paid, the company has already filed. Every year, a company files for losses when they file their taxes. So they've already filed your debt that you didn't pay them back as a loss to their corporate bottom line. So they've already done that, but they'll officially stop collecting from you once you file. If, like, for example, you file Chapter 7, so they will not go after your debt, because it'll be a write-off as far as you filing that bankruptcy. But yeah, that's going to be also part of the conversation as well. I'm going to still formulate that, because, like I said, this is more of an action plan. We're not, this year we're doing action. I've already talked about all this other stuff. I mean, we gotta get this money situation together. What I'll say is the things that I look forward to as far as my actions, the actions that I think need to be done, is that we need to get out of renting. Okay. And a lot of times why people are renting and living in hotels is they don't have the credit to buy a property, at a reasonable price. Okay. The second thing that I see is that, you know, we need upward mobility. Okay. What I mean by upward mobility is, like I said, I mean, I used to be working in, security and all those like jobs and stuff like that, and I basically, once I got into IT, that changed my life for the better. I no longer had to work those jobs. I had periods where I had to go back and do something and make some money because I was in between jobs. But IT is all over the place. Everything is in IT now, so you have job security with that. So upward mobility, what I could do is I can get you in the game. Put me in the game, coach. I can put you in the game. You don't necessarily on the software side, you don't know how to really get in there. It's hard to get in there like that, or networking or whatever. Well, I can get you in on the IT support side of the game, and you can get some upward mobility. Thirdly, is we gotta work on our finances. Oh, that's why I have the budget, Excel spreadsheet, and I also have I'm going to be doing the credit repair. Okay, so we got to work on our finances. Okay, so those are the action plans that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be talking more about. I mean, I already talk about upward mobility. I already talk about working on finances and also this too. But I'm going to show you different ways that you can actually do it. I'm not just going to talk about it. And it's just not going to be just bullet points. It's going to be more like some type of digital product that you can purchase that you can actually take action towards actually doing this. Okay. Not just me just showing bullet points and stuff on a StreamYard. Okay. So that's what I have in store for you. That's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. So basically this is just, just a start, So let's go.
He said to me, my grandfather walked 10 miles to work every day. My father walked 5. I'm driving a Cadillac. My son is in a Mercedes. He said my grandson will be in a Ferrari. But he said my great-grandson will be walking again. So I asked him, I said, well, why is that? And he said to me, tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. He said to me, many will not understand, but you have to raise warriors.